Hey y'all. Y'all, we back with another reaction. I'm not gonna keep y'all all day, but this is one of the friends that I was just curious about. Where was she with the car keys? Uh, why wasn't she in place when Kenneka was ready to go home? Well, Kenneka couldn't drive, no way. This is Bree Bree. This is the friend that had the keys the whole time. Now, even if they go in there and get the keys from wherever allegedly, I don't even think Bree keys was in the keys. I mean, say Kenneka keys was in the room. Period. Because they want to laid her keys around. Not the phone, maybe. But y'all, this is for entertainment, criticism, community purposes, and also these are my opinion, not necessarily based on facts and knowledge. Okay, I just want to come back for a minute. Since the year almost out, I want to come back here and put a little awareness on Uncle Jenkins case. And like I say, right now, computerized. I'm out right now. Probably next week when I get what I need for my computer. But it be like that, y'all, when you work on your computer, when you work using your computer all the time, the technical issues. Now, I want to get to Bree. This was a very short interview with Bree talking. Bree was the one I was kind of like, while y'all was upset with Monifa and Shamaya, I was really upset. Bree. I wasn't upset and blame her on what happened to Kenneka. I was just upset with her with the keys and not around to take, to leave, to go home. Come on, let's go home. I'm ready to go home. Kenneka was ready to go home, and she couldn't go nowhere. Think about it, y'all. Think about it. Even if Monifa and Shamaya go back in the room and get the keys, it's no keys in the room. So how are they gonna get home? So when they say they were gonna go back in there and get the phone and the keys, the keys one that she had the keys. This girl right here, the whole time she has the keys. And something that Bree, the reason why I came back here, y'all, when she had that interview with Real True Crime, she said something at the end of the video really kind of disturbed me with her. Is I know she ain't walking that freezer. I know she ain't just walking that freezer. How you know, Bree? How do you know that she didn't just walk in that freezer? I ain't blaming Bree. I'm just saying that how do Bree know Kenneka didn't walk in the freezer? How she know that? Well, I know she ain't just walking the freezer. What you think happened, Bree? If you know she ain't just walking the freezer, what do you think happened to Kenneka? Cause y'all came out, y'all came out. What you all did was came out blaming each other. Y'all start coming out pointing the finger at each other, accusing each other. But Bree, Bree disturbed me when she said, "I know she didn't just walk in that freezer." But how you know? How you know? Listen to Bree's story, y'all. Just like I said, I didn't want to hear it come too long. But this girl right here, I don't want to keep y'all all day, but just long. But I want your opinion on Bree. Because Bree was one of mine that I'm like, what the hell she had with the keys? Even though Kenneka couldn't drive the car, she probably the only one could drive. You know what I mean? She the only one could have drove the car. But them coming to take Kenneka downstairs, allegedly, there's just so much going on. And I can understand how they was drinking, intoxicated and having fun. But things that they was saying to blame each other, like Shamaya said, Kenneka was kind of drunk. But I understand what she was saying, but a lot of people didn't. But she just said that she wanted all of that wasted. But then you hear something different. She was laying on me. Then you hear something different that she like, hey, shorty. The guy sitting on the sofa said, "Oh, so you acting funny?" So Kenneka, to me, she was kind of sort of drunk, wasted to me. She wasn't all the way to me because she recognized who she was speaking to. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that don't add right in Kenneka Jenkins' case. It's just a lot of stuff just don't add right, y'all. And I think that what the girls did was they blame each other. But when you come down to Bree was the one that really upset me. She upset me. I'm not blaming her. I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying that she was the one that really kind of let me down because she the one had my car keys. I would just put myself in Kenneka case place. She was the one with the car keys. And this is what she gonna say after she found out what happened to Kenneka. Is this what happened? So let's go back here, y'all. Like I said, I'm doing the best I can because my computer is out. And that's the way it is with technology. Oh, let me see how I'm gonna do this.
What happened to her? She's married.
In order to shed some light on that fateful night, I managed to get an interview with someone who was actually there.
Why did it mean so much to you that you were going on time?
Because she didn't get a chance to go.
Bree is Kenneka's best friend and helped lead the initial search for her at the hotel. This is the first time she's speaking publicly about that night.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Already.
So, take one.
Can you talk to us about when you first realized Kenneka was missing?
I asked Maya Monifa where she was at. They just said she was somewhere drunk. So I took that she probably went downstairs to use the bathroom or anything. Time got to going back. I'm like, she's still in back. So that's when I got the presentation. That we need to go look for her. We searched parking lots. I knocked on people's doors. The security guard tried to tell us we had to get out the hallway, but I told him that we wasn't getting out the hallway until we found her.
Did you ask security to help you find her?
Yeah.
What did they say?
You want to show us the cameras?
How did you feel? Did you still feel like it's probably nothing?
No. I know her. I know Kenneka, so I was scared. Like, I was crying because I just knew that, like, what could she been? She don't do this type of stuff, so I know she wasn't nowhere else, so it had to been something. How did she end up in the freezer?
Thoughts on that?
I don't know what to think about that. I know she ain't put herself in the freezer, though.
How you know that? How do Bree know that, y'all? How do Bree know that?
What do you think?
Wait, hold on. Let me stop this. How do Bree know? How do Bree know that Kenneka didn't put herself in the freezer? It's Bree blaming herself? Because the girls are really mainly like blaming themselves. So is Bree blaming herself? Because she said something at the end that really kind of like got to me. But she said, well, he didn't ask her that question, but she said, I know she didn't put herself in the freezer. How you know she didn't put herself in the freezer? She could have walked in the freezer. What does she mean by that? What did Bree, since y'all think that Bree was the one that was this and was that, so and then when she came in there, she said, Kenneka, you been gone too long, Bree. Where were you the whole time? Where were you the whole time when Kenneka needed you? But I'm not blaming her, but I'm saying, well, where was she? Because she the one with the keys. Then if she had a saw, if she was in the room at the time when this happened to Kenneka, then she could have saved Kenneka. She could have helped Kenneka. They could have left. But Brewery wasn't around. She the girl with the car keys. At least Monifa and Shamaya took her out the room away from the space and took her downstairs, which they was drinking. That cognac, shoot, that hand, no telling, honey, you don't know where your mind is. Shoot, they feeling good too. And Kenneka wasn't their responsibility, but that she should have been all of their responsibility. But they not responsible for her drinking and where it was. Shamaya said she wasn't. She was kind of sort of drunk, and then Irene's sister said she was laying on me, and Kenneka woke her up. Monifa woke her up and took her out the room. I think that all of them did something to help her, but Bree. Where was Bree the whole time? Everybody getting their hustle on. They weren't thinking about nothing like it's supposed to happen. That's the way I see it. But I'm going to play this all the way through for the last time, and then we're going to get on to what the mom told the radio station people. Because this, I think they didn't investigate this case good enough for me. It wasn't investigated. Because I'm still wondering. She walked in the freezer. I want to get into that. Hold on, y'all.
In order to shed some light on that fateful night, I managed to get an interview with someone who was actually there.
Why did it mean so much to Kenneka that you were going on time?
Because she didn't get a chance to go.
Bree is Kenneka's best friend and helped lead the initial search for her at the hotel. This is the first time she's speaking publicly about that night.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Scene 2, take 1. Can you talk to us about when you first realized Kenneka was missing?
I asked Maya and Monifa where she was at. They just said she was somewhere drunk. So I took that she probably went downstairs to use the bathroom or anything. Time got to going by, and I'm like, she still ain't back. So that's when I got the pressing issue that we need to go look for her.
See, this is crazy. The story chain keep on changing. They said Kenneka was somewhere drunk. As if they didn't know where Kenneka was. They didn't care where Kenneka was. They weren't concerned with where Kenneka was. They said Kenneka was somewhere drunk. Yeah, Kenneka is somewhere drunk? Intoxicated? I mean, they didn't say that word. But I'm saying, your friend is somewhere drunk? That's it. That's what they told Bree. But that's not what they told us. How is they gonna say she's somewhere drunk and allegedly they the one took her downstairs in the lobby? That's where what his name? The anyway, Holmes said that he seen in the lobby, and Miss Teresa said she saw her in the lobby. So how is she somewhere drunk if y'all who took her down to the lobby? Did she go to the lobby herself? Y'all, this case is this crime is it's not even they didn't even say it was a crime. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is real crazy. It don't make sense at all. But I know she didn't just walk in that freezer. What can Bree gonna say?
We say spark lights. I knocked on people's doors. Security guard tried to tell us we had to get out the hallway, but I told him that we wasn't getting out the hallway until we found her.
Did you ask security to help you find her?
Yeah.
What did they say?
He didn't even want to show us the cameras.
How did you feel? Did you still feel like it's probably nothing?
No. I know her. I know Kenneka, so I was scared. Like, I was crying because I just knew that, like, what could she been? She don't do this type of stuff, so she wasn't nowhere else, so it had to have been something.
She don't do what type of stuff?
Freezer.
What kind of? She don't do what type of stuff? She don't do what type of stuff?
You got any thoughts on that?
I don't know what to think about that. I know she ain't put herself in the freezer though.
Okay, Brie. She didn't put herself in the. She didn't put herself in the free. I'm gonna go right here.
And then I went on Friday.
Hold on, y'all.
She was so happy to see us. She's down.
I just want to go to 107.5.
Rogers. And we have a guest here this morning, man. This is kind of a very important interview today. We want to introduce and we want to bring on the show today Kenneka Jenkins' mother, Miss Teresa Martin. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
We know you're going through a difficult time, a tough time, and there's a lot of emotions and feelings and just a lot that you're dealing with at the moment. So up front, we just want to say thank you for taking the time to come join us and speak with us today.
Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely.
So for those who, I'm assuming everyone in Chicago knows the story of Kenneka Jenkins by now, but kind of just a little backstory. The 19-year-old girl who was found frozen in a freezer in the Rosemont Crown Plaza Hotel.
That's right.
So let's start there. Let's start the night that you got the phone call about your daughter.
Okay. I received a phone call, 4:34 in the morning, from her friend, stating to me that my daughter's missing. They can't find her. So I asked them, could they take their time, just have a little patience at first, to see if they can find her. In the background, I hear one of the other friends stating, she tired of waiting, she tired of this, getting a little rowdy. So I asked them to calm down and just bring my car to
Hey,
me.
baby.
Because your daughter had, because they were at the hotel for a party, and your daughter was the driver of the night.
Yes, my daughter was the driver.
So they had her keys at this moment.
They had her keys. When they never mentioned that they had a phone until after I got off the phone with one friend. I called a phone just to hear other friend state to me that I have a phone too. So I asked them, I said, y'all, wait, hold on. You have my car keys and her cell phone? I knew something wasn't right.
Right. So, after that story, you obviously went to the hotel and began the search for your daughter. And the hotel at first wasn't as cooperative, correct?
No, they wasn't.
Okay.
From when me speaking with their friends, when the hotel, the friends stated to me that they was looking for, because I asked them, to continuously look for it first.
Right.
And she said that they was making them leave. The hotel was,
They were trying to kick him out.
Yes, they were going to kick him out that night
And
because.
this is like about 4:00 in the morning.
Oh, before.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They was going to kick them out if they leave and call the police on them to arrest them.
Now, why were they threatening to do that? Just
Right.
too rowdy, making too much noise?
No, because they stated to me that they told them that my daughter was missing. They can't find her.
And they felt like that was reason to kick everybody out?
Yes, obviously.
When was, the friends that called you, when was their last time that they saw your daughter, Kenneka, alive? What's their last interaction with Kenneka?
Well, they stated to me it was because I asked them how long she been missing, and they said it was 2 hours before they called me. I asked them why didn't they call me before. They said because one of the friends didn't want me to know that my daughter was missing. The one that left my house with Kenneka.
That's the Monique for.
But did they say how she
I get.
group? Like, how did she break away from the group?
Right.
Okay, it was like two different stories.
Right.
First, that day that she came, she came up missing, they stated that they left her in the front lobby, which is on my 911 call.
Okay.
Because that's what they told me.
Okay.
Later on that day, and then,
They told Miss Teresa they left her in that front line, but they told Bree, the video before this one, Kenneka was somewhere drunk. But I can understand them having different story because they've been drinking. You know what I mean?
afternoon, headed towards the evening, they stated to me they left her upstairs by the room door.
So they changed where they saw her last.
Yes.
Now
But isn't there a point?
they are saying They left her by the room door. That's that hand kicking in. The hand is kicking in. Hand sneak up on you, y'all. For those who don't know what Henderson is it's a cognac. Everybody body can't take it. Everybody blood can't take it. It kicking in on them. They don't know what happened to Kenneka. So it's three different stories. Kenneka somewhere drunk. To the mom, downstairs in the lobby. Then the mom again. They left outside the hotel though. Three different stories. 3 different times. 3 different moments. Under influence.
If I recall correctly, when they released the videotapes, there was a point where she got out the elevator, but somebody was in the elevator. Am I recalling that wrong?
Those were, I think, the allegations of people saying that they were in the elevator. Because there's just so many conspiracy theories when it comes to what happened with your daughter, Kenneka.
So we didn't see anybody in the elevator with her?
No, not in the videos, not that I saw. Did you guys see anything different? No, we didn't see anything.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But again, so many conspiracy theories were being thrown out there. So now, okay, so you're at the hotel, you find her. So when do they actually, from when you get to the hotel, when does the hotel finally find your daughter in the freezer?
Well, once I arrived, they finally found her after the 3rd time of us coming in, me and my family coming up to the hotel begging for help from the hotel, pleading with them, and also Rosemont Police Department.
So it was like hours, was it like 36 hours?
Yes, it was like 36 hours.
I have a question about why, if somebody says that their daughter is missing in their hotel, why wouldn't they be willing to help?
Right.
Did they give you a reason as to we're not concerned, she'll just show up, she's probably okay, and they just blew it off? Did they have a reason for why they're not willing to help at that point?
Well, they stated to me that, basically it wasn't their concern, the hotel, Crown Plaza, and manager at the time. That's a police matter.
Oh, it's a police matter.
Wait. Y'all told that mother that? I see why she sued y'all. It wasn't their matter at the time. It's the police matter. Y'all the security company. Sheesh. That's what y'all did. Like, they don't even care.
And the police probably say a person has to be missing for 48 hours in order for you to file an official report.
24.
24 hours, okay.
Yes.
24 hours,
So
okay.
it's more than 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
So when did they finally go look through the tapes to realize, okay, she really was at this hotel? So I guess I'm trying to figure out, how did they discover her in the freezer?
Okay, when my daughter went up there,
Your other daughter?
yes, my other daughter, Lenore,
Okay.
when she went up to the hotel,
Hold up. Hold up. What other daughter? I'm just saying, y'all. Ain't that Lenora? I just want to know. That's okay, Miss Teresa. I ain't trying to give you a hard time. I'm just saying, who is she? Who is she? Ain't that Lenora? Okay, so why did that lady say what she said? Other daughter? What other daughter? They call Lenora. They act like they don't see Lenora right there. Do they see Lenora sitting right there? I'm just saying, y'all. It's just I'm gonna make it complicated because the way the mother stated her information, is that Lenora? What other daughter? I'm just confused about that. I'm just confused about the other daughter and Lenora sitting there like y'all don't even see Lenora. Like she don't exist. I'm just saying, y'all.
we need to turn back home. She headed out the door as I was coming in, her and 2 of her friends. And when they got up to the hotel, they asked, the person at the front desk if they can look on the cameras and see once again, if they see, if Kenneka was there.
Right.
And they stated to her also as well that it was a police matter. So she calls 911 as well, and the police suggested that and told her that he couldn't leave and come up to the hotel to meet her. She would have to come down to the police station. Once she came, got to the police station and made the report, the missing person report, the only reason that Crown Plaza Police Department came back up to the hotel, not because of my daughter was missing, not because of the missing person report, was because Lenore forgot to put her signature on the missing person report paper.
Right.
So
This is the Rosemont Police.
yes,
correct?
the Rosemont Police Department.
Mhm.
So once he got there, and he had called and asked her where was she. She stated that she's back up at the hotel. She's telling the person at the front desk at the hotel that now she has a missing person report number.
I got a question, y'all. Lenora is sitting right there, right? Why she can't talk? Why? What's going on with that mentally? Cause she can't talk. Why she can't talk? Why is Lenora? They won't let Lenora talk. Lenora at an age where she can talk, but they act like they don't even see. Acknowledge Lenora, and that been a problem with me through the case. Her, Lenora, and Bree. She's not being acknowledged at this moment, and it's time, and I got a problem with that, cause I think that she old enough to have a say. So if this Lenora, oh Lord have mercy.
She stated, could they look at the cameras, and they still deny her, to see if her sister was missing. She asked the Rosemont police officer, if he can give her a copy of the police report. He stated to her, it'll take all day, he can't give her a copy, so she asked him, could she have the number to the missing person report. So upon his arrival, Lenore asked her, could you please look at the cameras, the security cameras, to see if they see Kenneka. And he finally agreed he would. He went into the security office, from my understanding.
And this is the officer that we're talking about.
Yes,
right
the officer that made out the missing person report.
Okay.
Lenore stated to me that he went in there like 5 minutes, came back out, and stated that on the missing person report, that he searched front and back, and he did not see Kenneka entering or exiting the building.
What?
So that means she wasn't there, according to them.
According to them, she wasn't there.
Hold on. Stop. Did y'all hear what they just said? But did you hear what Rosemont just saying? Now, Rosemont said they didn't see Kenneka entering the hotel, nor exiting the hotel. Is this where a lot of y'all content creators got that she was never at the hotel? Is that what y'all saying? Because this is what they telling Miss Teresa. That a hotel is telling Miss Teresa, and I don't believe the hotel, but the hotel is telling Miss Teresa that they don't have a video of her entering nor exiting the hotel. But we all know that she was in the hotel. And a lot of the content creators tried to pretend like she wasn't at the hotel. But she was at the hotel. So the truth wasn't there. And like I said, these are my opinion, and my opinion are not necessarily facts. But these are my opinions. But I'm saying, why is the hotel saying she wasn't there and they don't have no video of her entering that's a cover up. Allegedly a cover up when you're trying to claim she wasn't at the hotel, period. But y'all know she was at the party. It's too many people saw Kenneka at the party. So we know she didn't bewitch herself up the stairs. Okay, let's go on. So they didn't tell the hotel didn't tell the truth either.
In the freezer. And did they find her just by accident, or did they find her because they were looking at the videos?
Okay, well, when we was there, the Rosemont Police Department stated that they're the ones that found Kenneka. But with me looking at the news and reading in the newspapers, an employee found her. So that's a good question. I really wouldn't.
So now we stuck in the middle of something. We stuck in the middle of Rosemont police found her. We stuck in the middle of a employee found her. But we're not. We don't hear nothing about a security. She's on a security camera. Everybody finding Kenneka, but she's not on a security camera. Y'all know you know that hotel wrong for that now. Y'all told on the police that the police know. Y'all told on the employee, but the security camera is being covered up. But in order to say, if we seen Kenneka on the security cameras, the mama saw her, the cameras work. She was in the hotel, y'all. So how come they don't see Kenneka entering? The security camera doesn't see Kenneka Jenkins entering the hotel and exiting the hotel when this mother saw her daughter on the video. Y'all saw her getting out the elevator. Why they lie to her? That's her child. That's her child.
I'm not for sure.
Right.
But you actually, they brought you to see Kenneka while she was in the freezer.
After being denied at first, because I asked them, and I went online on Facebook because I needed help. I was looking for help, and I started timing myself basically to let them know, just in case if something like this come up, they couldn't say that I wasn't, conscious enough.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like I was like
Right.
out of my mind or whatever. And I stated, because I had made a post on Facebook before that, when I was in the search of Kenneka, that I needed help. If somebody see my daughter, to inform me. And after I made this live video, I re-entered the hotel, and I asked them, how was she laying? The head detective, how was she laying? He stated she was laying on her side. And I said, was she laying, how was her legs? Was they curved, like in a fetal position? Yes. He said, no, they were straight. I said, okay. Next question. Can I see my daughter? How she died? How she laid in the freezer? As I wanted to see her. He said, the detective stated yes. An hour or two went past, give or take. The sergeant come in with a very rude attitude. No.
I got a problem with the sergeant. Why was the sergeant sarcastic to this nice tone mother voice? Why the other officer didn't have no problem with Miss Teresa seeing how her daughter laying? Why was the problem with the sergeant letting her see how her daughter is laying? Why they gave Miss Teresa a hard time? See, y'all not in Miss Teresa's situation. Y'all wasn't in her space. Y'all don't understand when you can't get the help that you need when you are a different complexion. Y'all not looking at this. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. She ain't getting the help, the kind of help that she really need with this case. Now, I ain't talking about protesting. I'm talking about the thing right here, the important. This is important. She hear lies. They lied to this woman.
Oh, you cannot see her. It's against our procedures, our policy. You can't see her. So I asked him, with the card that leading detective gave me, is it possible that he can write his name on the back of the card? He stated yes. After he stated yes, I said, and as well as your badge number. And I hear him whisper to the detective, badge number. So he said, as everybody getting ready to round up to go, he said, you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna speak with the coroners and see what they can do. So here we go, hours later. 5 hours, maybe a little bit more, but rounding it off, 5 hours later, they come to me and states, only I could come see her. Me, I'm allowed, and I could bring one more other person with me. That's when they allowed me. They walked us back there. They said, wait, this is a crime scene. You are not allowed to take any photos. You can't touch, and don't touch anything. And they watched us as if we was there. Like we was involved in it. It seemed like the crime scene was on us, not what went on with my daughter.
So you see your daughter in the freezer now. To bring up to
No, I'm sorry. No, at this time, they had removed her from the freezer. I asked them, yes, they removed her from the freezer. When they removed her from the freezer, by the time we came 5 hours or plus later, more running it off, Kenneka was laying on a stretcher in a white body bag already.
So you never saw her?
I never saw her. I never saw her. They stated as well that there was no signs of foul play.
They didn't see. Okay, y'all. They they had her in a body bag, but they made us think that Miss Teresa saw her over there on that table beside that thing. So y'all gotta ask yourself. Remember when I was speaking, this wasn't a reenactment. It was just a filming. Was during the time when we saw Miss Teresa and Lenora looking at, like they were looking at Kenneka, in the kitchen. Were they filming then on that part? Because the reason why I say that, y'all, is because, come out of there, Campbell. Don't start. Because Miss Teresa just told y'all she was in a body bag, and she didn't see her daughter. She didn't see her, but they described how she was. So go back before y'all start all that hollering and yelling. She told y'all she didn't see her daughter. So that's what I'm saying. Not the it's no reenactment, okay? On the filming, did they use Miss Teresa, and I thought that was Lenora. Did they use them to film what they think happened? Because Miss Teresa y'all just heard her. She said she didn't see her. Y'all heard her.
Like it was just a normal look.
That's what they say.
No signs of sexual harassment or anything.
Right. So do you believe differently?
From seeing the pictures, yes, I believe different.
Because the pictures came out. Before that, though, the video came out. So when we saw the video of her trying to find her way throughout the hotel, what did you think about the videos?
That she was wandering in the hotel and she needed help. And, she had a hotel, a 5-star hotel.
Right.
I know it was surveilled.
Okay. She seen the video, y'all. She seen the video of her daughter walking around and roaming around in the hotel. Why the security didn't see it? We see it. We saw it. What was wrong with the coup? We saw it. Miss Teresa saw it. So security saw it. Why is the security trying to cover up their steps? Her mama seen this.
It's just like on each floor, they might not have cameras all through the hotel, but entering and exiting the elevator, there are cameras.
But it is her on the camera because, like I said, so many conspiracy theories. Some people said that's not even her on the video. You do believe it was your daughter on the video?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, Miss Teresa said the cameras don't work. The cameras may not work all through the hotel, y'all. That's why we didn't see a lot of things. That's why they had to film a lot of stuff and had to play their role in what they think that happened to Kenneka. But she said, but entering and exiting the elevator, you can see that real clearly. But you can't see the whole thing walking through the hotel, so the camera may not have been working. That was Miss Teresa said. Okay? All right, so now we know that all the cameras wasn't working at the hotel. But getting out that elevator and getting on the elevator, it was definitely working. Okay.
Do you believe they're saying that the one part of the video when she's walking towards the refrigerator, that's her last time being shown on videotape? So do you believe she could have just literally walked in there and got locked into the freezer? And what they're saying to be true is she got locked into the freezer and she died because of the coldness. Do you think that could be true?
Well, see, we wouldn't even be sitting here today to guess it. It was the camera. As we went in there, if you could look at the video, me and my daughter, which is some of the parts what we did. As we went in there, I'm looking at my daughter, and I looked in her face. She had a disgusted look on her face. That's an angry look, or somebody agitating her, this type of look. So I'm looking. And then I asked her, I said, can I...
Hold on. Agitating who, Miss Teresa? I'm not against her. I'm just saying, you just said that you didn't see Kenneka. She was in the body bag. And they was describing to you how she was. But allegedly, when y'all was in that kitchen, you never did bring that up, that you saw her. Now you saying that Kenneka had a disgusted look on her face when you and your daughter went around to the freezer. But you just said that they didn't see, you couldn't see your daughter at the time. I'm just saying.
The freezer, because I work in the cafeteria. So you can't tell me that she walked in this freezer and couldn't get out, because of our freezers. And not only that, me working within the CPS, cafeterias, before every freezer has a release button or some type of handle, whereas you can't get locked in this freezer unless you've been locked on the outside. You get locked in from the outside.
Which would have taken, obviously, somebody else to do purposely.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
what you're saying.
Yes.
There's no way she can lock herself in by herself.
Exactly. So once entering, and I see the freezer, now the leading detective stated to me, she just walked in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
This is before I told him I worked within the cafeteria.
Right.
She walked in the freezer, and when she walked in the freezer, she walked in. He never mentioned it was a double freezer.
Right.
Walked in the freezer, closed the door behind herself, and just froze to death.
Okay. Now, I want to share this with y'all. This is a reaction challenge. This is not a sit down and not a motivation. It's reaction. Y'all, of all the videos that I saw, we never seen them take a camera and walk through the cooler into the freezer. They always showed us a video going through the freezer. But they never showed us, like Miss Teresa said, that it was a cooler and a freezer. They didn't describe it to us like that. Rosamund didn't describe on none of the videos that they got of her that I have observed, that you don't see her, you don't see the door that she was going in. They always start us at the freezer. Even if when she land in the freezer, you don't see the other double door that she came through. She didn't start from the freezer, y'all. She started from the cooler first. But there's no video of showing us that she went through this cooler. Why they didn't just take the camera through the cooler to the freezer? Why didn't they show us a video of that? I'm talking about Rosemont. Only thing they had to do was take that camera, go through the cooler first, and then open up that door. Let us see how that door look. What's the door up there to make her get into the freezer? See, it's just not Miss Teresa. I'm talking about Miss Teresa. Rosemont did not show us a video. No kind of video where she entered the freezer, the cooler. Show me the video of Kenneka Jenkins entering the cooler, so I can see what kind of door did she open to get into the freezer. That's very important in this case, y'all, but we never did see that. We even seen when Kenneka was laying inside the freezer, she was like in a box. They never did show the other door that she allegedly came through. So that question making me wonder, was she in the freezer that they found her in? Think about what I just said, y'all. Think about what I just said. The case don't make sense, so what we got to say, it's not going to make sense. We got to make it make sense. just said. We haven't seen her walk through the cooler yet. We don't even see the cooler door. Did she have to open the cooler door to get into the freezer? They always show us her at the freezer. So I got a question. Is the freezer that not Lanita, I'm talking about me. Is the freezer that Kenneka in, is the right freezer? Is that the freezer? Is that the freezer that they are talking about with a cooler and a freezer? Or did y'all put her in that freezer? Cause it don't even look like a double freezer. It don't look like a cooler and a freezer. Show us the video of y'all going. We don't have not one video of her walking through the cooler first. Only thing we see her doing is open. They try to act like she opened up the freezer door. She didn't go through the cooler door. She could have opened the door to the cooler door. Do the cooler have a door right there? Man, I tell you, this a mess here. I wonder, was she in that particular freezer? Was she in that freezer? In the box that they found her in? Or was she moved to that box? Man, there's some freaky stuff going on. Creepy stuff.
You know, I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
I said, so she couldn't get out? He said, no, she couldn't get out. Because once you locked in, you locked in.
Right. But he doesn't know what you know about freezers at that time.
Exactly.
Right.
Did you go into the actual freezer that your daughter was in? Did you like try to see what your like the theory how you get
right, lady,
in that particular freezer?
Okay, well, I'll tell you like this. We wasn't ever to actually go inside that freezer, but they had both of the doors open. I asked him when I first went back there, so you're saying it's a double freezer? He said yes, but on our way back there, if you can see in the video, I'm pointing my finger. I'm looking for camera.
Miss Teresa just raised the question, and the lady just raised the question that I just asked y'all. It don't make sense. She just asked the question what I just asked. So Miss Teresa never did mention about the cooler. She's not answering. I'm not fussing at her. I'm just saying that she didn't answer the question that the lady said. Cause the lady just like me. Did you go in the cooler? Into the freezer? Since it's a double, whatever you want to call it. She didn't say that. She started talking about the camera. Something ain't right there.
I'm looking for cameras because that's my purpose, because you can't tell me this happened with no camera in around, you know, and every time I point, I see a camera. Except when we go by the freezer, that's like blocked off, which it was a camera above that freezer. And, okay, we're going to go back to that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. When I go back to the freezer, they had both of the doors open. And I'm like, here go a glow-in-the-dark plastic release button, big white button. I said, so is this a...
Guess what, y'all? Miss Teresa went back to... Because, see, Miss Teresa realized she did not answer the question that me and the radio lady wanted to hear about, did you go through the freezer, the cooler, into the freezer? That's very important, y'all. That's very important. Because we haven't seen not one video of nobody going into the cooler, into the freezer. So we don't even know how the door look. Go and open up the freezer. Do you open up the cooler to go to to go into the freezer? We don't hear nothing about that freezer. Now Miss Teresa just went back because she realized she didn't answer that lady question. Okay, but Miss Teresa is speaking of the cameras. She's still speaking of the cameras. She's still not speaking of going through the cooler to the freezer. So I wonder what's Kenneka in that box. What that box freezer she was in is telling me that we don't even know what she in that. Is that the freezer that she was really found in, y'all? Think about what I'm saying.
release button? He said, the detective said yes. And the sergeant standing back there with us as well. As I said, we were being watched as if we're the criminal, you know. We did this to my daughter, as if we was going to get arrested. So he stated, I asked him with the other freezer, you know, the second door. I said, is this a release button? Big white button. Maybe is they say you couldn't see, but it was lightning in the freezer. And the only thing we saw on the floor was a big piece of ice made in a triangle. Like
The question still wasn't answered.
And I'm like, okay. I said, so that's when I stated I work in the cafeteria. I've been working there for 7 years. I say there shouldn't have been no way that she shouldn't have been able to get out these doors. I thought you told me, and I asked the detective, you said that she couldn't get out. How is that when it's release buttons on each one of these doors? And he just shook his head,
As I understand.
Okay.
So
Miss Teresa said that it was a release button on each one of these doors. So she saw 2 doors. That's what she said, but she didn't answer the question the way the news lady, the radio lady asked her. She mentioned 2 buttons. I got a problem with that part, y'all, with that cooler. And again too, if she in her condition, and she's not in her look, Kenneka is not in her right mind because she's walking through a cooler in a kitchen. She walking in the kitchen and she walking in the cooler like she's on something else more than peppermint and alcohol. You understand what I'm saying? It seems like it's something missing out of here. Because why would a human being, I don't care if they're intoxicated, walk in the freezer? Somebody did. Something else was in Kenneka's system. Besides peppermint and alcohol. I know what peppermint would do to you with alcohol, but something else was wrong with Kenneka because she walked through the kitchen. She not realizing that she in the kitchen? She not realized that she walked in a cooler in a freezer. It's just like the other day, y'all. The other day, I wish I could have recorded. It's a lady. She's very educated and she going to school to be with some kind of tech. Now she's supposed to be doing something. Somehow she ended up in a freezer, and she passed away inside a Dollar Tree freezer. How she get inside the freezer and took her clothes off? How? Somebody done did something, gave them something. Somebody done gave, to me, allegedly, somebody done gave Kenneka something because she's not herself going into a freezer. Or that's what y'all want us to think that happened. Do the film supposed to let us think she did this? Are y'all sure y'all know what happened to Kenneka? Did Kenneka die the way we think she died? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Think about what I just said.
where are you now as far as what it is that you want to see? They've closed the case officially. I know that you guys are not happy about that and you want to continue the investigation. So what do you want to see happen? Where do you see this going from here? Are you trying to get more people to come in and reopen the case? What is it that you want to do?
Yes, I would love for the FBI to come in. The reason why I say that, they stated it was a natural cause before any medical examiner or anything. So the Rosemont Police Department knew this would happen with no professionals. They said it wasn't no sexual harassment or assault or whatever.
Assaults or sexual.
Right. Exactly. But how is that? From looking at the pictures, obviously you'll see that it was something going on. At least, with that, if you would have just saw it without being a professional doctor or whatever, examiner or whatever, first thought would have been them being professional cops. Hey, it's something had to go on. And then to come to find out, after all that, at the close of meeting, my daughter asked them, "Did you all take fingerprints?" And they said no. Why not?
All right.
Why didn't they take fingerprint? If they had taken the fingerprint, then they would have known what happened. But they didn't take a fingerprint to see was that Kenneka fingerprint on the door. Why they treat that lady like that? Jesus.
Why not?
Dust the body, right?
You know what I'm saying? Because I worked in the cafeteria once, as I mentioned, and in the cafeteria, you got to clean up behind yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
That's sanitation, you know?
So, question, well, two things. One is because the Rosemont police did actually turn down, because the FBI, didn't the FBI at one time make
They said
an offer?
that they reached out for assistance.
And so Rosemont turned that down, correct? They didn't want to have anything to do with the FBI coming in.
Allegedly
on the case. Secondly, was the question ever presented to the people of the hotel, why was this freezer even still in operation if it wasn't being used? Like, because I'm under
The kitchen was supposed to be closed.
I'm under understanding that kitchen was closed,
Right.
and that stuff wasn't even being used. So why even have it on? Because
Right.
when she goes in there, she's just inside a room.
Right.
You know, she's not inside a freezing room. And anybody ever? Did that ever come up in conversations with the hotel?
No, I never found out about this freezer wasn't working or none of that until after the fact. You know, I'm hearing it from the media or whatever, you know, and my attorney as well, you know, after
She's gone. Right,
after she's gone.
Right.
And then at the meeting, the sergeant said they had numerous of murders, you know, deaths or whatever, however he named it. Don't quote me. He said, but this is the first time we ever had to deal with an attorney. And rolled his eyes at me like, how could you be mad?
Wow. So y'all got upset with Miss Teresa because she took her for her daughter. Y'all had that lady in that room. She mentioned that y'all had her in that room for hours. So y'all sitting in that room talking to that lady about other cases similar to hers. That's her daughter. She got every right to feel like she do. She got every right to say what she say. How y'all gonna get mad at her? And Mr. Reed, you start worrying about people that you shouldn't be worried about them folk getting mad at you.
I mean, when I'm the one who's taking the loss, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, where do you...
Like you was doing something.
Exactly.
Right.
If nothing else, people should have been treating you with compassion.
Exactly.
If nothing else.
And with the cell phone, they did ask me twice for her phone. And you know why? I was afraid to go back up there because the next day I asked the detective when he called my phone and when he was asking me about her phone and to come up there, come back to the Rosemont Police Department to come up there, and I was not going by myself because I knew I needed some help.
Yeah.
The hotel offered to pay for Kenneka's funeral. Did you accept their offer?
Okay. They offered to pay for her funeral.
Yes.
You know why I did not accept? I refused. Because even though they offered to pay for it, they never once gave me their condolences. Well, of course, they probably did after I made initial clues to Facebook and the media. You know, how could you offer to pay? You all don't care. It's not about money. It's not about money. That's why I reached out to the world, you know, for help.
But it was about money. It was about money. Because you got to pay these people. It's about money. It ain't what's about money. Everybody got paid. It was about money. Got to have money to work. You got to have money to work. Well, it was about money. It was about money to them and to your situation. It got to be money because you got to pay them. Got to be about money. Well, I guess she was talking about for the funeral. She could, because she might have insurance on her. I don't know.
And I'm still asking for help because something's just not right.
I want to bring up some of the activists. Actually, how I got in contact with you was via Andrew Holmes. He's the one that gave me your number, and we actually talked the night prior to when the videos were released. And I know you were upset with him because what happened with that? Did he have the right to go? Because he was the first person to talk about the videotapes. Did he have that right from you to do that?
No, he did not.
Okay,
first of all, Andrew Holmes just popped up from nowhere. He stated to me, I asked him when he called my phone, who gave you my number? Who is you? He stated that he was somebody because I'm asking for help. So I'm figuring, you know, he coming to help me. And he stated to me that he was from Chicago Police Department. He's a special investigator and he's going to get me answers. So
he lied. He's not no investigator. He's an activist. He just worked with the police department, with y'all, for y'all folks. Now, I want to, mentally, I want to go back mentally, not with the video. You go back and watch the video by yourself. But Miss Teresa says she didn't mention it in this video, but she did mention it on her channel that they kept her phone. They kept Kenneka's phone. The hotel. She on here, she didn't mention that she gave them the phone. So that will make me think that she had the phone, Kenneka's phone, the whole time. But she also stated in this video that they wanted me to bring the phone back up there so they can go through it. So she said she wasn't going to go back up there to the hotel by herself. Now, just because she said that, y'all, it doesn't mean that she didn't get them the cell phone. They just didn't ask her at the radio station right here anything else about that situation. So I don't know right now, did she get on the phone when she came back up there? And they will give it back to her. That's where the confusion came in at.
Special investigator.
Yeah, that's what he stated to me.
So you were misled
Yes, I was misled.
Right.
From the beginning.
from the beginning.
Mm.
Do you have
So
any communication with him now or no?
No. No.
okay.
There's no need.
Right.
I know other activists, I know from Facebook you accused of them raising money without your knowledge all the way for the protest.
Yes.
So what was that situation? Because they were saying that, money's necessary if someone gets arrested and for the buses, and that they explained that to you and you were okay if they got money to take care of those situations.
Listen, let me tell you something. I didn't know my purpose of being out there. I thank God for everybody. Whichever way they did it, I asked for help. When you ask for help, you can't direct the help, which way this help going to go. But as far as them collecting money, I never knew about it until I made a status. I wish I would have known. I would have actually wrote down the date. See, like I said, I did timing again. And I went on Facebook to let people know that I did not know, it was, when they collected their money, I was not aware of it.
Okay.
2 days later, I don't know how many days. When I found out, the day I found out, they stated to me that they're gonna give me a ledger, and before we leave the protest that day, and I'm like, honestly, I'm like, okay, what is this? And they stated to me that it was funds that they had collected because of the protest, and I'm like, oh, okay. They said, what do you want to do? They asked me what I want to do with it. I said, well, if you all collected for the protest, save it. And it was some people got locked up, and they was like, they was like, somebody got locked up. I said, well, go bond it out. Don't y'all have that money? I didn't want to touch it, because if they collected if that's what they was doing, then I'm a firm believer. If this is what you're doing, for whatever reason y'all decide to collect it without my knowledge, finish doing what y'all doing. This.
Okay, so what I hear right here was misinformation. Whoever is the spokesperson of the protest should have been telling her everything. That's what she's saying. Y'all should have mentioned everything about the money that you had collected, that you were using the money for this and that and that. That's all she's saying. It's a lot of things that were going on with people. No, if y'all getting money like that, who else is making money? That's what she's saying. So I don't think that she mean no harm when she was mentioning about the protest. She was just mentioning about, so y'all getting money? Y'all getting money to get the people out? Okay, well, oh wow, I didn't know that. But anyway, use the money to get them out. But the thing is, they didn't tell her that what else y'all doing without Miss Teresa knowing? Not just for protests, everybody else.
Not about money. And like, it was people that got bonded out, they had to pay out of their own pockets, And I'm like, they had the money. I don't have no money. I'm getting calls saying, where the money at? They told us you had the money. I said, I didn't never touch nobody money.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy.
The money was meant.
That's crazy.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
That's
and
crazy.
It's like, as you all, because I'm putting it out there. I'm looking for help, but I'm also focused. And people is like, they're doing certain things. And I'm not the victim. My daughter was the victim. But don't try to put me a part of that, because I don't believe in using people.
Right.
And I think that's the question. Kendra spoke on it, but I think some of the other activists that are out here, if you've had direct contact with them, or if you haven't, what would be what would be the overall message to them right now? Because I understand where you stand. Right. What would be the overall message to them? Because sometimes I feel that they can do more harm than help in this situation. Right. So what when you sit up, if you had one message that you want to say to them, what would it be?
My message to them is stop taking advantage. And if they haven't took advantage of nobody, then don't do it. Especially when a time of need, when someone is begging and grieving, don't take advantage of them. Do what's right, and stop using God's name in vain. Because you could trick a whole lot of people with the word. Yeah. And honestly,
but to be honest with you, Miss Teresa, you're the only one that I heard. I'm not fussing at you. But you're the only one. Well, maybe she heard somebody else using God's name, and we don't know, but I don't know. I don't know, because she's the only one that I have heard that uses God's name. And maybe she heard something different, because we wasn't there the whole time. We wasn't there when the cameras went off. Okay? I think it was just like a misunderstanding, misinformation, y'all. But right here, on this video right here, okay, they in the process of awarding her funds, but she still asks for help. She's still asking for help, y'all. Y'all not understanding. She's still asking for help.
I never met none of the activists, besides Mark. I knew him, from the neighborhood. Right. Personally, none of the activists. So they're coming out and they introduce and they said, well, of course, you make it seem as if they're here to help you. And all along, everybody's out for the same purpose. So
I don't think that they always out there for the same purpose about the money. I think if you had a lot of people that was really caring about Kenneka's situation, I think that they got in. It made them look bad because they was with the people. I think you had some caring people in that group, Miss Teresa. They all wasn't after the money. They was really want justice for Kenneka. And they just got mixed up in the fusion with the ones who after the money. So you did have some people in that protest that really cared.
I'm not gonna say everybody, but the ones that fall into that category.
Right. Oh, okay.
And it's sad.
It's such a devastating story. So at this moment, and just to pick off what Kyle said, because the photos came out publicly. Was that your first time seeing the photos too?
Well, they showed us 4 of the photos when she was in the freezer, and one of the photos, the 5th photo, that was like a picture of her when she's walking in through the lobby. You know.
Well, when I saw the photos on last weekend, I was heartbroken because, my mom passed. And I have photos when my mother died, but obviously they're not public. I never want them to be public. And I was like, this story has become so transparent that all these photos and your daughter's last final hours, we get to see. And I was just like, it's sad to me, because at the end of the day, this is a public story and we all need answers. But then you are also a mother. And this is your child. Right. And do we really want to have the world see your child at her last moments? It's just difficult. So we all feel for you. Mm-hmm. We all feel for you, because to go through any loss is terrible. To go through it in front of the public eye is unimaginable.
Exactly.
So from the city of Chicago, so you do not agree with the simple story of your daughter walking into the freezer and freezing to death. That is not acceptable to you.
That's not acceptable.
Okay.
Especially when it was cameras. They should have showed not only besides the back of her, but the front of her as well. It was a camera directly over this freezer.
They haven't shown us images of that.
I know. At the meeting, the closing of the meeting, I asked the detective and also as well as the sergeant. And the sergeant said aggressively, there wasn't no camera. So I guess the camera disappeared too.
Right. Because all the images we've seen are her walking through the kitchen, but then she disappears and we don't see her actually walk into the freezer. But you're saying there was actually definitely a camera there.
It was definitely a camera there.
What about the statement? Because there was a lot of controversy about whether or not Andrew Holmes actually said We see on the camera her walking to the freezer and the door closed behind her. I was one of the people
He did
that
say that.
I know I heard him say
He
that.
said it.
But then when I went back and I tried to find the transcripts, I couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it either.
Andrew Holmes called my phone. I had just got out of, I'm still a little
Right,
sedated from my
right.
surgery, because I had an infection, And he stated to me on the phone, which I made a live of that too.
Mm-hmm.
He said, early that day, and I was so, distraught because I'm like, did you see the camera? He said he saw her. He saw the camera of her walking into this freezer.
Physically walking into.
Did y'all hear what Andrew Holmes told her? It's bad that when you working around your people and you can't trust your own folks. And y'all got to remember, he said that he worked with the police department too. Allegedly, I heard him say she walked in that freezer. It's a camera. That's what he said. But then when I went back and tried to find it, it disappeared. It wasn't there no more. I couldn't find that video for nothing. But I do have the video of him saying that. I did record. I got to find it. That's going to be hard to do. I got to really go back.
He's walking into the freezer. And I said, for real? He said, yeah. Because they was trying to get me to come down there by myself. I said, no, I'm not going to come down there. I want my attorney.
Yeah.
I'm not coming because I was afraid.
Right.
If they doing all this line from the beginning, what makes me think they won't try to do something to me?
Right.
So I said, okay. He told me to get on. He said, what you should do is get on live and make a live and tell them that you saw the camera of Kenneka walking into the freezer. I said, okay. He said, because the hotel is not making no money. They want us to stop this. They want us to stop. They want us to stop. Saying the Hotel Crown Plaza want us to end it. I said, okay. The protest. And I said, okay. So I thought about it, with me just hurting. I lost my daughter. Wait, I'm just getting over cancer. Lost my daughter. And then I have a person I'm being portrayed, stating as if they're for me, they're going to get answers. Then you give me these type of answers, even if, but without me even seeing a video. Like, you're a complete stranger. You popped up from nowhere. You want me to, but I don't believe your words either, because even though the Bible tell you, watch as well as pray. So you mean to tell me I'm going to listen to your words and do exactly as you say?
Not having seen it for yourself.
Not having seen it for myself.
He just wanted you to say what he told you.
If that's the fact, me just want to listen to words. I would have listened to Rosemont Police Department when they stated my daughter just walked in there with no type of exit way, no way to get out this freezer.
Right.
I'm not listening to words. Show me.
So
as cameras.
So as a follow-up to that, I just want to ask you, since you obviously don't believe the narrative that they gave you, what do you believe actually happened? Do you have are you saying I'm still looking for information, or this is what I believe happened? Do you have something that you believe happened?
I believe that it's a cover-up. I believe I'm still looking for answers. They can't see if I wouldn't have never saw these cameras, they could have showed me exactly what they're saying to me. I'm not denying nothing, but show me. That's all I asked them in the first place.
So the autopsy report says that she wasn't violated. You don't believe the autopsy report?
No.
Okay.
They didn't see any signs of violations.
Oh, okay.
No. Because from the pictures, what do you think?
The pictures did. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I saw the pictures, because her shoe was off, like she was scratched, it looked like something happened to her. But then when we looked more, was it hypothermia?
The definition of hypothermia, and in the last stages is hypothermia. It feels like your body's burning. People try to take off their clothes, and you actually kind of go insane, for lack of a better term. Could do anything from viciously scratching yourself, hitting your head up against walls, or whatever. So when we read the definition of hypothermia and these symptoms and the stages of it.
And within that definition, it also states that they're normally, the average person is normally found naked, right?
Right.
Completely naked.
Right, that's true.
Completely naked, exactly. So, once again, no signs of sexual assaults, right?
Right.
But you see in the pictures that her breast is out and her pants is unbuttoned and halfway down. So maybe not, no no signs of it. But I don't know what's this.
It seemed like she was trying to take off her clothes. That's what it sounds like to me, Miss Teresa. Hypothermia. She was doing that. And whatever she was reacting from made her react like she did.
What do they call the sign of sexual assault?
Right.
So you're not saying I believe she was sexually assaulted, but you are saying, show me some proof to the things you're telling me.
That's it.
Did you reach?
That's it. Proof.
Right.
Did you reach out to anybody to do an independent autopsy?
Right.
Not one that the city did, but one that you did on your own. Maybe there was somebody you could reach out to. I want to do an independent autopsy.
Right.
Yes, I did. I did have my. God bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, we did. We had our own independent autopsy. I'm still waiting on the results.
Okay, so those results are not back yet?
Yes, we had it done after, the medical examiner did theirs.
I think.
So, can we? That'll kind of help us a little bit, Miss Teresa, your independent autopsy. You don't have to share it with us, but can you tell us what did it say? That independent autopsy. What did it say? I'm surprised you didn't get it was gonna be a whole lot of money in this. A PI. Since your attorney not doing good.
And this is just my personal opinion on it. What I really hate about this whole situation, man, is there was a young lady with a promising life ahead of her. Mm-hmm. I understand that she had just got a new job,
right,
and was about to start doing great things. And all we can talk about is conspiracy theories. And I, as a father of 3 daughters, like, I don't know, I'd be out of my mind. Like, people's lives would change.
Right.
I'd be out here crazy. So I commend you for keeping it together. But it's just sad that, we have to have all this mess
right
of this young girl's life, instead of her just being able to rest in peace, which we're trying to find the answers to so she can rest in peace. I get it, but it's just it's heart-wrenching for me because, like, seeing the pictures of her, I start thinking about my 18-year-old, and I had a conversation with her about this is why it's important to be aware of your surroundings and everything else, because you're just speechless, you know what I'm saying?
And not only did me searching for answers for my daughter, I not only thought about my daughter, I was unselfish enough to think about the world.
Everybody's children.
Everybody's children.
The village. The village.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I wanted them to be aware, because the way that they was telling me and the covering up, if it didn't happen before, it's gonna happen again. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to bring awareness.
Yes, right. You did right. You did right. You did right. You did right, Mr.
Somebody.
Are you? What are your feelings towards her friends that were with her that night? Do you hold any blame towards them?
Like I stated to them, I'm not blaming anyone, because everybody at the hotel I look at as a suspect.
Right.
I'm not saying that they did it. Everybody that was there that night.
Okay.
So, like I told them, I stated to them after they came to my house looking, I said, I'm not saying y'all did this to my daughter, but what I am saying, you all should have had enough loyalty not to leave my daughter.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I don't blame Miss Teresa for feeling like that. Just like what her name, Robinson, the Robinson case, Shaquetta Robinson. Them girls came over. Her friends came over to Shaquetta Robinson mama house like that, and they didn't even look out for Shaquetta. This is crazy.
Hatred or none of this. And I know people probably judge me or whatever. They're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Especially since you teach, I know I do specifically. I literally just said this to my daughter yesterday, who was 18, like Leon's oldest. Mm-hmm. I said, when y'all out here moving around, it's safety in numbers. Y'all stay together. Y'all
stay together. Don't separate.
Everybody watches out for each other. You don't let nobody stray off. So I totally understand you saying, look, you may not have done this, but you let my daughter wander off.
Exactly.
And this is the result of what happened.
Exactly.
Now, but from the videotapes, it does seem like your daughter was intoxicated. Was she drinking, or was it pills? Do you agree that maybe she was under the influence in some way?
And it's the epileptic medicine too.
Right.
Okay. Can you explain that?
Now, see, from my understanding, as me speaking with the doctor, he stated to me that that level that they're trying to say, because I'm reaching out and asking,
Right.
And he stated to me that that's not even a level where you could be sloppy drunk, as though the video is saying. He said that's like a tipsy level.
Right.
And the medication is not enough, strength to have her like this.
Right.
So, which shows that she whichever went on, whatever was in her system, she was still strong enough to try to fight it off. She's still trying to look for a way out. How could that, go unknowledged from the security, from the hotel? Some employees that was down there in the area that she was seen in. How could not, no one not notice my child? And then when we came up there looking for my child, why? We couldn't get no help from her.
Right.
We don't really have the words, to take away the pain. I wish we had it. We've all experienced loss in our own personal lives, so we do understand what you're going through. We want you to know that our hearts are with you.
Thank you.
And that we appreciate you coming on our show this morning.